Welcome to another episode of the Overgrown Third Graders Podcast. You have me, T3 Collects. You have Jason, Cyborg
Jason.
Soda from Chicago. This is a podcast without BC Radio. He's out of town, so it's just the two of us handling this today. Hopefully, nothing goes off the rails. I don't think it will.
We'll
But
see.
yeah, yeah, we'll see. So today's guest is a wonderful gentleman that we have become friends over the past few months. He's from Indiana, right? I hope I got
Indiana in the house.
that. He's been doing YouTube for a lot longer than I have, so that's a good thing. So we're gonna have him come on here in a minute. But yeah, what have you been doing today, Cyborg? Anything interesting?
Well, I have been on the hunt for the new McFarlane wave, and I don't know if you knew this, but you probably knew this. I hate Walmart. It's just brutal. It's like it's so daunting because the employees don't know, they don't care. Finding things is literally impossible. Sometimes they probably have things in the back, but there's no way they're gonna go look. So yeah, I was just trying to find the new ASBAT Go Label figure, and then I was also trying to find Parallax on the south side of Chicago. Coming to find out, I would have had a better chance of locating them up north, and I didn't go up north today, so that's just the name of the game.
Yeah, that Azrael Batman or the Nightfall Batman has been eluding me as well. There's actually 6 sitting in a Walmart about an hour and a half away, and I was just like so tempted to do this, but I'm like, I can't. I gotta wait. I gotta be patient. But I'm just knowing that they're just sitting there. I'm like, they could be in the back on a pallet. So just kind of like, is it worth the gamble to waste the gas, basically?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so that was a no-go. I'll be patient and wait. So, yeah, we'll see. So today's guest, like I said, is from Indiana. Great dude. I'm excited to have him on. So we're gonna welcome on Craven the Toy Hunter. So let's bring him on. What's up?
What's up, fellas?
You ready for the hot seat? You ready to sweat it out here in a minute?
Spill your guts out.
I guess so, man. I guess so. I'll be sweating. I just got done watching. I don't even know the name of the movie, the Elvis movie, whatever the Elvis movie is.
Yeah.
I got
nice.
done watching that, and dude, that dude sweat like a whore in church, man. It was crazy. Like no matter what he did, he would just get up on stage and just be buckets, man. And yeah, I guess I'm ready to do my Elvis impersonation and sweat it out. So hey, you brought something up a minute ago. I guess I'm the guest. I shouldn't be asking you questions, but
go ahead.
We're changing this up. What's the furthest you guys have ever gone? You were talking about going an hour and a half to get a figure. What's the furthest either one of you guys have ever gone for a figure? A specific figure, not like I'm gonna go, to this toy shop like 2 hours away or something like that. But like you're like, dude, this is over here. I'm gonna go this far and go.
For me, probably like 3 hours.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
3 hours, nice. I'm gonna say I was on a little business trip, and I think it was like in Wisconsin, or I can't remember where exactly, but it was outside of my state. And I just took the little break I had to go do a little toy hunting. I wasn't looking for anything in particular, but I know it was probably at least a good 2 hours away from Chicago. So I haven't, to look for something. Yeah, I would say the max is like 2 hours away.
Right on, man. Right on.
What
Yeah.
about you? What about you, Chris?
Me? No. For something specific, I mean, maybe like a half hour. But I mean, I've driven I've driven to there's this the toy department. It's almost like 2 hours north of me. I've driven there like, a couple hours. I went there for my birthday last year. But like I was just there just to hunt, but not for anything like specific. Like you were talking about those what was it, those Batman figures. So like, that there's some like an hour and a half away. I was Yeah, I haven't. Maybe a half hour or something like that. I don't know.
It's respectable. It's respectable.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so, man. It's all right. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you? How
Man,
are you
yeah,
doing?
Great, man. Never been better.
There you go.
that's awesome. I like that positivity. That's great.
Yeah, I try.
In today's world, this is what we need: is positivity. This is what we
Or
do.
just fake it till I make it.
Or that
Or
works
that,
too.
or that, or that.
Or that.
Yeah, man. No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Oh, good. Good to hear. Good to hear. So let's start off with a hard question right off the bat. No, I was joking. Just joking. No hard questions right
Oh,
off the
shit.
bat. Not off the bat. Not off the bat. So let me ask you this one question, because last week I asked it, got the round table here, so I just got you today as our guest. So the round table question that I had last week. So this is going to be kind of a hard question. So if, and this is only if, a what if question. What
Okay.
if Hasbro was to lose a license to Marvel Legends? What
Uh-huh.
company or companies would you want to produce the figures? So here's your
Hmm.
choices that I have to take out. Is you have to take out McFarlane Toys because they have their deal with WB, so that's just out of the question. So
Okay.
you can pick a, I wouldn't say low tiered company, but a retail company, and then you can pick a high end company.
Huh. Let's see. Who makes? Let's see. AEW figures are done by. Is it Who does AEW figures? Jax?
I think you're
Jazz
right.
No, not.
Marks.
Is it? They do
Yeah.
a pretty good job, and so does. Is it Mattel that does? It is Mattel that does WWE Elites and like
Yep.
Ultimates. I
Mhm.
would go with probably Mattel, man, because WWE Elites are those are solid figures. Like I actually like them better than some of the loose AEW figures I have. Um, just as far as articulation and like it feels like the figures are actually like I don't know, nothing against AEW figures. They just feel a little flimsier, I guess. So maybe Mattel, I guess.
Okay.
And then for like high end, I mean, or is Mattel high end? I don't know.
No, I would say anything that's
That's
20.
retail, right?
I'd say yeah, like anything below $30 would be like a retail type.
Okay. So high end, well, I don't know, man. I don't buy a whole lot. NECA, NECA,
Okay.
Ooh,
NECA.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah.
That's a
Maybe
high. That's high end.
is that? I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like their baseline is $30, and then everything else is just. I love them. You know, I love Predator figures.
Oh
I love
yeah.
Predator figures, but I mean, I don't know. I guess you get into that problem of articulation. Like, you know, Predator figures look great in a box or in a package, but then like you take them out and it's like they kind of have one pose or they break. So it's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. They look great though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They look. Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that.
Oh, nice, nice.
I just got this. I think this is Scout.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's the Stalker. This is the Stalker Predator. Really, I just got it
Oh, okay.
a week ago. I'm loving him.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love my Predator figures.
I don't collect NECA. I mean, trust me, I want to. I think it was, who was I watching? I was watching somebody today, and they made like a good point about like NECA figures. Oh, actually, no, I wasn't even watching anything. I was actually talking to somebody yesterday
Mm.
to video chat about different stuff, and we were talking about figures and stuff. And NECA, as far as like, well, Jason collects the Predator. I know there's some other ones you collect too. And I
I
can't remember.
collect all the horror, most of
Yeah,
the
there you
horror
go.
figures, any horror stuff. I'm a nut for like any NECA horror. They do great
Nice,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
so for NECA, for me, I would probably, really, in reality, the only things that probably will collect eventually will be the Universal monsters because I think those look fantastic,
They
and
do.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like mashup with the Universal monsters.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, those would be the two that would probably get into. But I'm just like to see them go from like $29.99 to $38. I'm like, ooh, okay,
Yeah.
that's a huge jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that kind of turned me off. Like early on, one of the first or the first Predator figure I ever picked up, and I just love Predator movies, or not really movies. I love the original Predator movie. A couple of the other ones are okay. I'm gonna watch Prey tonight, so I'm
Okay.
pretty hyped
Oh,
about that.
it's great. It's great.
Is it okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll feel like it.
Good, man. I hope so. But what was it? It was called the movie Maniacs.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like so the first Predator I got was Predator 2, where his arm was chopped off. And that was the very first Predator figure I ever had. And at the time when it did, this was 2000, early 2000s. I just
Yeah.
like cut the damn thing open and took him out and just it was whatever. And I was really disappointed on like how like it was kind of like NECA, where it was like one good pose and that was it. But I don't know. It was that kind of got me started on like it's kind of the early days of like me collecting, because I didn't really collect figures. I was always more comics. So
Okay.
but Predator figures, like that just was like, dude, that was a game changer.
So that's a good, I guess, segue into like what got you into collecting. At what age did you start, and when did you stop, and when did you pick it back up?
Okay. I mean, I guess like, as I was born in the 70s, man. I'm 45. So, like early, I mean, being real little, like early Star Wars and like Empire, I guess. Empire Strikes Back, where like I had a lot of those figures growing up. I remember that. Then when Return of the Jedi came out, I had a lot of that stuff. And so growing up until like sixth grade, I got into like Star Wars, GI Joes were like my big thing, 3 3/4 inch figures, Transformers, of course. But like, dude, growing up, I don't know, my folks, like they struggled. So like, I would always go hang out with the kids that had like all the toys, and I'd bring a few of mine, but I'd be like, oh shit, y'all got like Castle Grayskull here and like Snake Mountain, and like I'm using cardboard boxes for mine, like that was I would go hang out over there if they had the video games and all that stuff. So till about, I don't know, eighth, ninth grade, or about seventh grade, I moved to Indiana from Florida, and I still collected like some GI Joes or whatever, but I started getting more into comics. And the first buddy I met moving to Indiana, he was an artist as well, and I used to like to draw, and so we would, we just kind of started talking about comics, and I was like, yeah, kind of got into comics, and then he introduced me to like the X-Men, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't know this, like comics were this cool. So I kind of ditched toys for a while. And I got like way more into comics. And then I guess around Marvel Legends, my buddies would collect them like in 90s, like late 90s and early 2000s. And I always kind of make fun of them, like, oh, hey, have fun playing with your dolls, and all that, just being a dick. But like, you're just busting balls. But meanwhile, I was still collecting comics and stuff like that. And then I remember I heard about Legends, and I was like, those are cool, but like I'm still not trying to get into figures or whatever. And then a store around here, this was probably around Marvel Legends Series 3. The store had a bunch of Marvel Legends Series 3 that were like on sale, but then on clearance. And dude, they were like $3.50 each. So I picked up like the whole wave just because I was like, dude, this store looks cool. I think Mr. Fantastic was in it, maybe Colossus, maybe not Colossus. I could be wrong, but it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool set. So I snagged the whole thing, and I was like under $20. I had like the whole wave. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I was like, this will be it. And then like Series 4 came out, and I was like, there's a couple cool out of there. And then 5 and 6. And this was Toy Biz, Marvel Legends. So
Nice.
so around that time. And then, some of I could be getting my timelines mixed up. I guess it was a little bit after that. Some of the was it Revenge of the Sith, I think, was coming out, something like that. And they were doing midnight releases at Walmart and some of the stores around here for some of their figures. And so I told my buddy, I'll go with you. I'm not going to get into it. And some of those figures were just amazing from episode 3. And I was like, oh shit, these are really kind of cool. Like, I'll just get a couple, and then that turned into like the saga came out, and I was like, I'll just get a couple of those, but maybe a few more like true. Dude, now I have dude, it's ridiculous. So,
just a few more,
a couple.
Just a couple.
So I'm sorry, that was a long, drawn out story, but I mean, like early on, up until like 9th grade, 8th grade, and then later on, like early 2000s, I started getting into it. Haven't looked back since.
Tell me about it. Yeah, dude.
It's so ridiculous.
You got sucked into the Star Wars universe, man.
Oh, dude. I've kind of quit collecting Star Wars because it's like, dude, how many times do I need, like, I have enough, like, Hans and Carbonite, or, like, I got, like, every Lando you could think of, and it's like, that poor dude's on a peg everywhere you see him. So I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's how many clone troopers do you need? How many stormtroopers? Like, it's they've milked so much out of that universe, and it's
that's
like,
the problem that I have personally with Star Wars, and how they're abusing their fan base. I don't like it. That's one of the reasons why I don't collect Star Wars.
Man.
Just because I don't like it. Let's just dip this figure in black ink and sell that. They're like trolling their fan base.
Yeah, man. That's absolutely true. I got tired of it. And it's like, the Star Wars black figures, the 6-inch figures came out, and I was like, all right, I can kind of get into these because I like that scale better than 3 3/4 for the most part. And I couldn't, I don't know. Even on that, I was like, dude, okay. Like, I don't need I don't need Neem Nub. It's cool. Like, I'll be fine without him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that like Hasbro or that team that does Star Wars, I think the fan base is pretty much kind of, I guess rebelling a little bit because they're just like, oh, you guys keep manufacturing the same figure, you're just repainting it to death, and that's why there's like in this Obi-Wan wave, maybe it's before that, they started, putting out obscure characters because they've never been made. So that's just another way for them to bring you back in. Like, oh, they've never made that. I need to have that.
Right. Yep. Right. Yeah, and then they do, I don't know. It's overkill with that shit, man. It's overkill. I think a perfect example of like the fan base being like, dude, give us something we want, is like when they're doing all these Kickstarters, and like WWE did, it was $250 and you get like a scale size ring and 3 figures, and it's like $250 to support that. At first I was like, it's kind of steep, but I started adding everything up. I was like, that's not that bad, dude. I bought two, and then I was like, I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll open one, maybe I'll sell. I don't know. I don't really flip a lot of figures, but I was like, I got 2 just cause. And then, but they're doing things like the Sentinels. They're doing things like Galactus. They're doing all these other ones that it's like they're taking off because they're dope and they're to scale. They look good. A lot of money's been put in it. And like Hasbro, like in Star Wars, comes out with like a Rancor, and it's like, you want to spend like $500 on a Rancor? It's, oh, but we'll give you the fat Rancor keeper with it. It's like, dude, it looks like me. Like that looks like, I don't need that, man. Like, come on, dude, get out of here with that. I don't know, man. Like the incentives weren't good. Like, dude, it was just weak, man. And I was like, come on, Star Wars. Like, you guys can do better than that. And then they're like, dude, for like $800, you can get a lightsaber, and it's like it'll come apart. And it's like, come on, dude. Yeah, right. It's like, get out of here with that, man. Give us something that like worth the money and like that's gonna be worthwhile. I don't know. Like, I don't even know what it would be. Like a scale Ewok village with some Ewoks. Maybe not even that.
Yeah, like, why not? That's a good idea.
Something like. Just something, that is cooler than a like. I love the Rancor; he looks dope, but it's like for what they were asking, it was like it was too much, man. It was too much.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's where.
Sorry. Oh shit. Sorry about that. I realize I can't check text messages. Sorry. Sorry about that. My bad.
There's always technical difficulties somewhere in this stuff. So that's cool.
That was a user error. Sorry.
Yeah, it could be like last week where BC Radio hit end broadcast and not end chat, and then he turned off our live stream. And I'm like, okay.
That was fun.
Yeah, he called. It's funny because he called me like like half hour after it ended, and he was like, "Dude, did I do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, you ended the broadcast." And he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Dude, it's fine." I'm like, "I'm not even mad. Like, it's just funny how it ended because it ended with what was it? Something about Superman. Like,
Oh yeah. Favorite Superman, was it? Like,
yeah, favorite Superman, and he just said who he said, and then he's like, "I'm out," like that, and then he accidentally hit end broadcast.
Mic drop.
Yeah, pretty much. So it ended just like that, and I was like, "No, dude, actually, that's funny because it ended up perfect that way. That's fantastic." And he just kept apologizing, and I'm like, "Dude, it's fine, it's fine. It doesn't matter." But yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, not to bag on. I'm not trying not to bag on Hasbro too much, but like Jason and I talk pretty, I wouldn't say randomly, but we talk pretty consistently. And he's brought up a good point with GI Joe classified series. I mean, I'm not the only one that thinks this, but yes, GI Joe classified team has been killing it with all their figures, paint apps, tons of accessories. Their first HasLab is the Hiss, and it went off like crazy. And then you got Marvel Legends, which have done the Sentinel and Galactus HasLabs, which have been done well. But I feel like the Marvel team is kind of stuck too. They're kind of teetering on that cusp with like Star Wars. Like, okay, we reissued another Iron Man, the same freaking figure, painted 600 different ways. What else can you do? But during San Diego Comic-Con, they revealed some Spider-Man. I think it's part of the Spider-Man 60th anniversary wave that's coming out throughout the rest of the year. So they were just announcing like a very obscure characters, like villains I've maybe heard of a long time ago, but I have never heard of since. And then,
super obscure.
Yeah, like I think one's called the Spot. Is it the Spot or is it the Spot?
There's a dude named the Spot.
The Spot will be cool, but I don't think they announced the Spot.
No,
but that would be cool.
They announced one, the
like the Fallen or the Forgotten or something like that. Was the guy from
dude? I don't
the
know.
Heralds of Galactus? Was it something like that?
Oh yeah. They did that. They did it like, they did name some. Some of them were pretty obscure, like monkeypox. They're like, who the fuck's that? I don't know. Yeah. There were some names that I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I've never heard of him, but yeah, that's awesome because it's someone you've never seen in figure form ever. Not even Toy Business done it. Not even Kenner has done it. So it's just like, okay, that's cool, and people are just like confused. It's like, well, you can't have one or the other. You have one or the other. You can keep bitching about them, making a million different freaking Iron Man molds or Hulk repaints or whatever it is. And then they're just, everyone wants more and more and more. And then you're just like, who are these guys? And then, you got people complaining. So it's like, what do you want at this point? Like, we're listening to you guys as fans. You just tell us what you want. They're doing their best.
Yeah. And dude, as much as they're pumping them out on like these cards, I almost don't even care who they bring out. I'm like, dude, I love the cards. Like, I'm almost spending. I mean, the figures, obviously, I can't say that because with some of these new Marvel Legends that aren't going to have that plastic, dude, my days of collecting, collecting Marvel Legends may be coming to an end because I'm like, dude, I like being able to see it.
I'm collecting boxes, basically, right?
Dude, right? I mean, that's the way I felt about like some of those Marvel Legend 3 3/4 inch figures. Like, I love the cards on those. I love the artwork. Yeah. And so, like, the little, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of articulation on those little figures for like $13. It's not really even worth it to me. Like, some of them look okay, but the artwork itself, like that card, is just beautiful, man. Like, for the most part, like that Green Goblin looks great. Like the black suit Spider-Man looks good. Like, so many of them look good. But it's I don't know. I think
at that 3 3/4 scale or just around that window, I think there are a lot of other manufacturers that are really kind of sticking it to Who's that putting that out? Who's putting it? Hasbro? Yeah. Hasbro at
Yeah.
that their retro cards, like I think Carlos and I talked about this, Spin Masters. They're doing like 8 or 10 points of articulation at that same scale with soft goods in the box.
Really?
Yeah, for the DC line. And I'm like, wait a minute,
Oh, okay,
how
okay.
much
Yeah, yeah,
more can this
yeah.
cost? Because those 3 3/4 retro marble figures are only 5 points of articulation.
Right.
So I mean, I look at Spin Masters and they're really slept on. A lot of the smaller manufacturers are really slept on. Jazzwares,
Hmm.
Wicked Toys, they're doing great stuff. They really are. They're kind of
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, man. And they look good, and they're like, I just bought those superpower figures the other day,
yeah,
and as opposed to them being like 12.99, $13, they were $10. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I can get behind that. So they're even cheaper with more, more articulation. Like you said, the soft goods there with the capes and all that. So yeah, yeah. I guess I don't know if it just like Hasbro. Who's it? Hasbro? Who is it? Hasbro. I couldn't
yeah.
even. I had a stroke, man. My bad. Hasbro. They. I guess they just think if they keep pumping it out, idiots like me are gonna buy them. But like, and I guess I do, but not all of them. Like I'm very select about like those 3 3/4, and I'm becoming the same way about Legends. Really, like I would just kind of. I do love these cards, but like for the most part, I don't know. I'm becoming way more select on what I'm picking up because
Smart. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's like, with the price increase, like I went and picked up a couple of Legends the other day. I didn't need them, but it was part of the Bone Breaker series for, not like I already have one made, but my buddy needed a couple of the figures. And so I shot him a text and he said, yeah, pick those up. Dude, they were $24.99 a piece. And I was like, wow, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of money, man. So
Yeah.
I don't
That
know,
is
man.
it is. Yeah.
Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing is well, I'm a completeness, so like when there's a
Mhm.
whole new Legend wave, like I have to have them all. 'Cause I'm like
Oh, okay.
I grew up with like all those characters and just like, damn, dude, I gotta have it. Like this is the first time I've ever seen this,
Yeah.
but it's, it just that's just what it is. But now as they've gotten more expensive, and I'm just like, okay, now I've been noticing I've been very picky of what I pick up now. Um,
Okay.
but even like I pre-order a lot of stuff and then I'll cancel stuff because sometimes you'll pre-order stuff like through Target and then you'll walk in there and it's just sitting there on the shelf.
Yep.
So
It's like a
yeah,
slap in the face to those that pre-ordered almost. Right.
yeah. You mentioned that last time, yeah, and I'm just like, what's the point of pre-ordering at this point?
Yeah. I can just go in the store and find this stuff on the shelves now, like pretty easily.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna say, but like Marvel Legends, for instance, was pre-ordering them, and then I noticed like on Amazon they'd be $24.99, and then by the time they've come out, they've lowered them down to $19.99 or $22.99. I'm like,
Yep.
I don't understand like why they're doing that. Like, why is the price increase at pre-order, and then by the time they come out, they're $2 less or $4 less? Super weird to me.
It is. It is. And you, like you were saying, you just over time, you just start to learn the patterns of these releases, and and you can kind of gauge the the clearance possibility by the reception of the property, right? So, if it's something is like super popular, but it is not necessarily attached to any other kind of medium, you can be like, oh, that's going to go on clearance, unless it's like comics are different because there's, multiple media sources, video games, comic books, the films, TV shows. So those are a little bit more, you can't necessarily gauge as easily when it comes to properties like that. But you can like the Jurassic Park Mattel stuff. I'm not even buying the Hammond collection right now, because I know that in probably 3 months it's all going to go on clearance. So I'm just gonna hold off. Like they got some new dinosaurs that came out. I want them. I'm not gonna get them right now.
Yeah, yeah. All those what the past month for the most part, because what Jurassic World Dominion came out, and then all those figures just literally went on clearance from like
Oh yeah,
50% to 70% in like a matter of days. And
Less
Yeah,
than $5. This was originally at some stores in Chicago $15. Less than
yeah,
$5 now.
so crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that even at 11.99, it's 11.99 here. So it's just like, I mean, come on, it should be like 7.99.
It should be $7.99.
Yeah.
Yep.
But whatever, we're still buying it.
I just think that I think a lot of it has to do with the amount of money that they're charging for these licenses, because Disney, it seems like Marvel, like Hasbro, is extremely constricted by what they can do with the figures because they're beholden to Disney as far as their creative freedoms. They own GI Joe, they own Mighty Morphin Power Rangers now, so they can just take more liberties with what they're releasing. But with Disney, I think there's a stringent screening process for what they're doing, and the licensing rights probably are something ridiculous, I would imagine, knowing Disney, So I think that's one of the reasons why GI Joe Classified it shines so brightly when you compare them to even their own Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and especially Legends. Um, yeah.
You're muted, Chris. You're muted. Yeah, you're muted.
There
There
we
you go.
go.
There you
There we go. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, so you understood my point, right? No.
Oh yeah, I can read lips.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Good. No, I never thought about that aspect before, man. I didn't mean to mute. I got a phone call, dude. I shouldn't have done this on my phone. I should have done this on like my laptop. So my bad, man. I had a phone call, so I was trying to like block it, and then it was a whole mess. Anyway, and I apparently muted the mic. I never thought about that aspect before, dude. About there's inflation, and then there's I guess with the rise of popularity on some of these things, like these Marvel movies and all that. Like, it's so cool to wear Marvel shirts now. And it's like growing up, I remember it's like, dude, I had to special order through a thing called American Entertainment, like comics and posters.
Oh, wow.
And like I had a Punisher shirt. Like, you couldn't go to like the store and find like a Punisher skull t-shirt. Like, that wasn't a thing. You had to special order these things. Now they're everywhere. So yeah, you're right. Like the license is probably way more expensive, and it's just getting probably more expensive by the year. So with that increases price, I would guess. So that's a good point, dude. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you look at the price difference, well, I shouldn't say price. Well, yeah. So Star Wars and Marvel Legends, they're $24.99. But if you look at GI Joe, they're $22.99. So they're $2 less. For the most part, most places they're less.
Right.
Like
with way more stuff in the box.
Exactly.
Right.
All custom. All the molds are unique. Generally, the molds are unique for each figure, except the army builders, obviously. But yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at like some of my loose ones right now, and like barbecue looks nothing like anyone else. And like you have the bat and like Destro, like even Destro and like the Pimp Destro, like even they look different. So it's like, it's you're right. It seems like
it seems like Hasbro is putting the most effort into the properties they own versus the properties that they're being allowed to use, because it's very apparent. I mean, look at this. Just real quick, we do a little comparison. I got a couple new releases here. So I got Storm Shadow. This was $22.99.
Nice.
And then I have Darwin, which was $22.99. We got a Pizza Spider-Man body with 2 hands. Look at all the stuff that Storm Shadow comes with. Yeah. Look at that versus this. On the Pizza Spider-Man body, you have no idea what he can do, his powers. He's sitting on a shelf. You just walk past this, you're like, oh, it's an alien, obviously. You would have no idea, But look at this. This is like, look at the art. I mean, not saying that this art is not nice either, but just the amount of value for money, both $22.99. In some places, this is $30. So, yeah.
Yeah. I went to GI Joe Con this past week. And that's what the new video. I'm gonna drop a new video. I'm so sporadic on those videos. But I went to GI Joe Con, and I haven't been able to find any. Haven't been able to find that Storm Shadow, Spirit and Freedom. I haven't been able to find a Crocmaster. There's a few figures, and I was able to like clean up over there. But I didn't pick up that Storm Shadow, dude. So I should have, man. I was just like, oh, do I want that? So I wanted it, but I was like, I'll find it. And then I see it again. I'm like, God,
I was at 4 Walmarts today. I only saw 2 Joes. I saw Gung Ho and Lady J, and that's all I saw.
Yeah, dude, that Lady J is everywhere. Lady J and Flint is all you can find around here.
Or Baroness, like, the movie Baroness.
Yeah. You'll find those movie figures. I've never ever even seen one. I mean, other than at cons, one Baroness on a bike like in the wild, and I was like, dude, like never. I like 2 days when they first dropped them. I saw the I forgot what the Joe is on the bike. It looks like Matt Cardona. I don't know, whoever that guy is that rides the bike, but Breaker.
Oh,
Breaker on the bike, yeah. And so there's that whole thing. I saw that one day, and I passed it up, and I was like, I don't really think I wanted that, but like I never saw Baroness. So yeah, it's you're absolutely right. Like that comparison was was actually perfect, dude. Yeah, you get so much more, and like $40. You know, there was what's that giant Hulk? The 80th anniversary or whatever Hulk.
Oh yeah,
dude, that thing was $45 or $44.99 or something when I got it at GameStop. Right next to it was another Marvel Legend. It was a 2-pack of the Winter Soldier Falcon cap and the other cap. Like both caps or whatever. And that was like $42.99. I was like, you get 2 figures with more things or Hulk for $45. So I was like, what? Like, I don't know, just weird, man. And then like I did find a killer or a Crocmaster. He's $40. He comes with a ton of stuff, dude.
Yes.
So it's like, dude, you're right, man. You're right. Like Joe's are the classifieds are like for the more, you get way more bang for your buck out of that stuff, dude.
And the funny thing is, I've learned that it's not about quantity of plastic or paint.
Right.
I always like to bring. I sound like a broken record, but I always like to bring up this example. So there's a series of figures by McFarlane called Mirrorverse. And they're based off of the Disney property. I think it's based on a TV show or some type of mobile game. I don't know. Anyway, they make a Sully Mega figure, and if you go to a GameStop, they usually have it on clearance or something. But this thing is massive. You know Sully, that character, right? Could you imagine him in like a 12-inch figure?
Right.
For $40, it has tons of paint. It weighs at least 3 pounds of pure plastic. Damn. You could probably make 15 figures out of that much plastic, and it's $40. And it's just like, okay, so it's really not about the plastic. It's about the licensing fees that are coming from this. Because if McFarlane can make something that big with that much paint for $40, and it's on clearance right now. You can get it for probably under $30. So
that's crazy.
It's all, like I said, it boils down ultimately to the licensing. From what my observations.
Yeah, it seems like it. That's a good point, man.
Yeah, the amount of money that we have been pouring into this hobby, as you say, is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? Like, we can complain all we want, and like Jason said before, like choose with your wallet. Like, the less you buy, the more they'll be like, okay, well, people are waiting for things to go on clearance now for dirt cheap. I mean, he's not wrong. So
yeah, at least it ain't meth,
Yeah.
So
I think right now, dude, these manufacturers, they need to give people a reason to run out and buy these things as opposed to just churning them out. Something that really gets people out there. But it's for more creative people with a much higher pay grade than me to come up with these solutions. These people, they have multi-million-dollar PR companies and all this. Whatever happened to toy commercials, first of all? Like, where are those at? Remember?
YouTube. They're on YouTube.
those toy commercials, incredible. You know, like the kids playing with the toys. They don't do that anymore. You know, I don't know. I'm old school. I'm old school. So what can I say?
Yeah, I mean commercials in general are kind of thing of the past because I watch commercial and it's like within 5 seconds if I can't skip that damn thing,
That's
you
true.
know.
That's
But
true.
if they pumped out, dude, no lie, if they had a bunch of kids with like like I don't know plain backgrounds and like little like the way they used to do this for like old school Star Wars or like GI
Yeah.
Joe and like if they did those with like little dioramas or whatever like settings. Dude, I would not skip those commercials.
The
If they got
nostalgia.
new
Think
stuff.
about the nostalgia. The nostalgia
Yeah,
of people seeing that. They're not gonna
yeah,
skip it. They're gonna watch it. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. I would watch that, man. I would definitely get behind that.
Imagine
And
if
it's like,
Hasbro's. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
oh, I was gonna say, whenever they come to like some of these figures, the way they keep churning them out like that, like Bone Breaker, like that Marvel Legends series, that was actually a Build-A-Figure that I really wanted. But of that set, like the Wolverine, I was like, dude, Wolverine figure looks great. I have a million Wolverines, but like, why not add another one to the thing? He didn't even come with a piece.
No.
Sabretooth came
No.
with a piece. I was like, I definitely want that Sabretooth. He looks great. Came out with a Havoc. Havoc looks all right, but they just pumped out a Havoc a few years ago. And I was like, all right, I'll get this Havoc. He comes with a lot of cool accessories. I don't know who gives a shit about Maggot or Darwin or Lady Banshee. What's her name? Oh, do you? Do you? My bad, man.
I like Darwin. Darwin's a cool character, personally.
Is he?
Darwin's if you read about Darwin, he's actually a cool character. He's got a good backstory. But yeah, I
Is
know
he
what you
cool?
mean.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe I'm speaking to myself, man.
But I mean, but no. Like if you look at the box, look, like there's nothing in here to show you what he can do. This has failed as an action figure, honestly, because it doesn't give you an idea of what he can do. Remember back in the day, he's got punching power, karate chop.
Yeah.
But we don't. Nowadays it's like, oh, guess what? It's another figure on the pizza Spider-Man body. Like
Yeah.
cranking it out.
Yeah. So I just because there was a time that I kind of fell off on like comics and I'm kind of especially X-Men. I haven't collected X-Men in a while, but I don't and new X-Men. I kind of like dropped out around then. But so I don't really know a whole lot about Maggot or Darwin or Vulcan. I did read something the mini series. I forgot what that one was called. Anyway, him being the third Summers brother. So,
As if they needed more, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. But I was like, okay, like, all right, I can kind of get behind him. But and everyone was making a big deal, like, oh, it's a brand new sculpt and all that. I was like, dude, he like comes with nothing. He just looks like a dude.
He didn't even have any energy effects, right?
Yeah,
no energy effects or anything.
A brand new, I'm like a brand new body sculpt. Like, why? Like, he didn't have anything with him. So I was like, Havoc came with all this. At least 3 things that you could like tag on him that makes him look kind of cool, makes him look different. But anyway, I don't know. And I used to wonder, like, dude, why don't they give us like figures that we want with these Build-A-Figures? And it's like they'll give us whoever as long as they throw a Build-A-Figure and we know we're gonna collect the Build-A-Figure, and then they'll make us pay again for the figure that we want. So it's that doesn't have a Build-A-Figure or on a different Build-A-Figure series. So it's like, all right,
That's
it's
true.
just a big money. It's just a big money game, and I get it.
Yeah,
like you said, we're forking the money out. So. It's whatever. It's whatever.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you have like Carlos was saying earlier, you have to vote with your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
If it peg warms, that's sending a message to the company like, hey, this is not working.
Right.
Like, have you guys seen the pictures circulating online with all the variant stormtrooper sitting on the back the end caps for like $7.99, 50% off at Targets? Like it's just like a 500 figures on the back of an end cap, just not selling.
Really?
It's like, I think we're reaching oversaturation with Star Wars figures. First of all, it's like how many Grogu's do we need? It's just when I first saw Grogu, I knew exactly what that was. I knew exactly what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Automatic cash grab. I mean,
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you're going to see that next year with Marvel, with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because the movie is a backstory of how Rocket was created by the height of evolutionary, and the trailer, which was just described in I've seen like one thing, and it shows like a baby raccoon, so you know that they're gonna milk the living shit out of that.
Dude, I hope High Evolutionary actually looks like High Evolutionary, because that would be cool.
I mean, you know how Marvel Studios does their stuff, so
Are they going to
do it in,
CGI the actor's face or something? You know, because you know what I mean? Because the High Evolutionary, you know, he's got like a red face. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I hope they make him look kind of DC. Although DC movies kind of, you know, they are what they are. They at least do a good job trying to make the characters look like what they look like in the comics. Like, you know, Atom Smasher, like you've seen on these Black Adams trailers, like Atom Smasher looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like, Hawkman looks amazing, dude. Dr. Fate looks great. It's a DC movie, so probably it's gonna suck. Maybe not. But like Marvel movies are typically pretty good. But like, yeah, man, you're like, wow, that's not exactly what, you know, they look like in the comics, and then the comics just adapt to whatever that, you know, this new character looks like. So it's like
for worse, for bad, or for good, you know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
I mean, that's been Kevin Feige's thing, where he's like, yes, we use the comics as reference, but we're not going to, you know, make everything, you know, to the T from the comic into the movie. Like it's an interpretation of the comic. And I'm like, at first it was like, it kind of bothered me, but as what are they, almost into 30 films already? I kind of like got past it. Like, I'm like, whatever, I don't care anymore, because I just love that I'm able to see these characters on this giant ass screen, because who would have ever thought in our, you know, childhood that we're going to see these characters on a movie screen? Like maybe Spider-Man, yes, but not all these characters. You're just like, I can't believe I'm going to be watching an Iron Man movie. Or
I never thought in a million years I'd see this, right? People had dreams about this stuff.
Oh yeah. So it's just like, you know, that's why I don't, what the MCU does and what Marvel Comics does are same company but different, and that, you know, it's just like, I don't care, like whatever, do what you want, but try to make it as close as you can to the actual comic. You know, I feel like they've gotten a little bit better, but this last phase of or is it the last phase of 4, or I think it's phase 5 is Guardians 3. Yeah, and then Ant-Man, I've heard like MODOK doesn't look like MODOK, and I'm just like, I've heard conflicting things where he looks like MODOK, and today I heard that he does not look like MODOK that we're used to, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that might, you know, drive me nuts. I'm like,
like, are they going to cast Jim Carrey in? Have you heard that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
For MODOK?
Yeah, that was the rumor, because he's met with Marvel, I think they said 3 or 4 times. Yeah, that was the rumor for the longest time. But
and I could see that, just have a big giant Jim Carrey head on like this little body floating around, like that'd be great.
He would do it. He would do it if he could do some silly stuff like that. He probably would.
I think he'd be good, because you ever seen Kick-Ass 2?
Yeah,
he was in that, and he was supposed to be an anti-hero or whatever, but he played you know, a pretty sinister, like, good guy. I think he would pull off MODOK, but from my understanding, it's the guy Corey Stoller that played the Yellow Jacket somehow becomes MODOK.
Wait, Corey Stoll gonna be MODOK?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Oh my, what?
Yeah, so that's the rumor. So I don't know if it's true. Like, we're not gonna know until they start showing previews, more than likely next year.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
end of this year probably. Yeah, you know, whatever. I mean, we'll see. That's why I say the MCU kind of like deviates away from source material at some point. But, you know, that's Hollywood.
Whenever I used to be a big Walking Dead fan, like
me
about
too.
The first 4, 5 seasons, maybe 6, I don't know. And then I just kind of was like, all right, I'm kind of done with it. I collected the figures. I would definitely collected the comics. That was that's kind of, I got out of comics, and that's what got me back into comics, really, was Batman 608 with Jim Lee doing that stuff. And around that time, I found out about Walking Dead. And they were only in like the 20s, maybe 30s. I could be wrong about that. But I was doing buying a bunch of back issues too. And I loved it. And then the TV show came out. And I remember the first season, kind of, for the most part, at least the first episode, was really like very similar to the comic. But then it just went some completely different direction. And I was like,
It
dude, this
did.
kind of sucks. And I had a bunch of buddies that were like, dude, this is terrible. This guy's dying like this. And he really should be alive. Or this character's here. And they've never been introduced. And then I was like, you know what? It would be kind of boring if I'm watching on TV everything that I know that's going to happen because I've read all the comics. So it's like, yeah, go ahead, give me some surprises. Keep some things true. Like, you got to keep some things true. Like, you know, when it comes to Marvel, like, you can't have MODOK just be like some dude. Like, you know, he has to look like MODOK, or at least something similar to that. But, you know, keep some things true. But, like, I'm cool with some, like, deviation, you know. It makes it a little more interesting, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I might be the minority when it comes to that. You know, some people are purists, and I get that, and I respect that. And they want to see what they were raised on. So I get that. But I'm okay with, like, all right, I'll give you a little bit of leeway. Don't throw me way off, but, like, I'll give you a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, that's why I think, like, people get upset about like the movie adaptation from like a book to a movie. They're just like, oh, this is nothing like the book, or it is a little bit. It's just
it's a book.
Yeah. Like, why would I want to watch like that book on film and it be the exact same thing, page by page, word by word? Like, there's got to be some deviation there somewhere. Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, for instance, Harry Potter fans are just like, the movies aren't exactly like the books, and I'm just like, either was Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings movies are fantastic. The books are fantastic. You know, you get what you get. So quit complaining and just enjoy what you get.
Yeah.
Mother effort.
Yeah, you can't please the purists. It's impossible. No. If the person's supposed to have blonde hair and they have black hair, it's over.
Oh yeah.
It's over.
It's just like gender swapping that they did in Marvel films. The Ancient One, for instance, you know, was supposed to be a man and they gender swap with a woman. Like, everyone having a hard time. I'm like, who gives a rat's shit about that? Who
remember
cares
the
or a man? Like, who cares?
Remember the Heimdall situation with Idris Elba? That was bad. Yeah, people were like, they were ugly. They were being real ugly with that one.
I mean,
really?
Yeah, and he ended up doing a great job.
He was amazing. Like,
I
couldn't imagine anyone else being him, man. Like,
he was a scene stealer. Scene stealer.
He was when he bit it from was it Thanos that got him, or one of Thanos' dudes? I was just like, dude, come on, man. Like, yeah, he was amazing.
Have you seen the new Thor, Chris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, okay, it was better than what I expected.
Okay.
It was better than what I expected. I was like, all right, dude, this is what I thought it was. I was like, okay, this is just. Now, I didn't read the God of Thunder miniseries that I guess this was kind of based off of somewhat, or, you know, some of the Jane Thor stuff. Like, I didn't read any of that, so I didn't know what to expect. But I was like, okay, is this, because it really seems like Marvel is like giving like dudes. I'm not trying to lump you guys into how old I am, but like dudes like kind of our age. Like, all right, we gave you this for like 30 movies. Now it's time to, you know, pander towards like this really young crowd and you know, especially like girls as well. And I have a 15-year-old daughter, so I am all about, like, you know, girl empowerment and like I've always told her, like, dude, anything you want to be, you can do it, man. But then, like, I was like, all right, dude, Thor's a dude and Thor's like my dude, so like, don't be bringing in, as much as I love Natalie Portman, I was like, dude, is this just a way that is just going to be passing the torch to like someone else? But it was done great. Like, it really was done well. Now, there's a lot of things in the movie that were like, yeah, it was kind of silly. It was no Ragnarok, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Thor movies are fun, man. They're just always kind of fun. It was just the ending. Like, dude, Christian Bale was amazing. I don't know how much spoilers. It's been out for a long time, so I don't know how much I could, you know, to say, but I'm just like, yeah, like Christian Bale just killed it. But then at the very end, you're like, dude, really?
Yeah.
like like I don't know. I know you're not big into wrestling, Carlos, but like, or wrestling figures at least. But it was this big like baby face turn at the end that it's like, dude, really? Like, he's the God Slayer or whatever they're calling him, or God Killer, whatever. He's killing all these gods. Yeah. But then he's like, oh, oh, okay, I choose love. Like, like, okay, all right. But I mean, I don't know. I
choose
was kind of
love.
like, all right, bro. Like, I know. And I was like, all right, dude. Like, maybe as a father, okay, I get that. Oh shit, sorry, pulled it down. I was like, maybe as a father, like, I kind of get that, but at the same time, I was like, it's kind of cheap way out. Like, have him and Thor battle it out, and have Thor like slice him in half. I don't know, like, do something crazy, man. I
Yeah, I
don't know,
mean, I
but
didn't read the comic either. It's two comic stories that they molded into one movie, basically. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, like from Taika Waititi's said that his actual cut or his actual film's 4 hours long, that they cut it to an hour and a half or an hour and 59 minutes, or I don't even know what it was.
wow,
So a 4 hour cut, and he's like, no, there will be no director's cut. What you see is what I wanted you basically to see. And then
yeah,
I guess like you get to see Christian Bale or Gore, you actually slay the gods, and there's stuff like that that's in it that they cut out. There's like cameos they cut out, and I'm just like, why? Why did you do that? Like, just put it in
right,
there. But I mean, he intended it the way he wanted it to, be. He represented it the way he wanted it to be. I think that's everyone's biggest complaint was one, it was under 2 hours, but then again, Doctor Strange was under 2 hours, and it didn't seem short. It seemed like
Yeah.
it was
yeah,
I feel like they both paced very well.
yeah,
But my only complaint, because I've seen Thor twice, the first time I
mhm,
walked out, I was like, yeah, it was okay. Second time, I was like, okay, now I started seeing things, picking up little things here and there, and I was like, okay, this is a
mhm,
lot better than I thought originally.
okay,
But like Taika Waititi, I think they just tried to use Korg too much as far as trying to be like the comedic thing. I think he was just
mhm,
overselling it, and I was just like, okay, that's probably like my only gripe is that part with Korg. They're just kind of like forcing him down everyone's throat in a sense.
yeah, yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, the movie all, after seeing the second time, I was just like, I have a way better appreciation for it. I mean, sometimes you have to do that with movies,
Mhm.
even like these Marvel movies. You have to watch it the first time because you're anticipating, you're just like, I'm so excited. And then you kind of let down. And then you watch the second time, and you're like, okay, this is a lot better than I thought it was the first time. and I'm gonna bring up one thing, and we're not gonna get a discussion about this, but like the Eternals, I enjoyed a lot the first time. I've enjoyed it that much more the second time, the third time, the fourth
Ooh.
time, the fifth time.
You've
And
seen it that
Jason,
many times?
I absolutely love that movie. It's in my top 10 of Marvel movies. Yes, I
Whoa.
know. But Jason and I have,
I've never even seen it because I tried for a little bit and I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'll put on
Jason's like,
Shang-Chi.
yeah, he's a straight up hater, and I'm like, it's fine. I don't care. But yeah, like the appreciation after you watch it multiple, like 2 or 3 times, you're just like, okay, now I understand like what they're trying to do, the story. I mean, even I can't think of his name. One of these like talk show hosts was like, yeah, after like the second time, I was like, he was just like, I understood the story better. I understood what they were going for, and I appreciated it a lot that
Really?
much more. And I've said this from the get go. When we get out of phase 4 into phase 5 and 6, everyone's going to look back to the Eternals because that's a key pivotal movie for what's going to happen here on out. And they're going to go back to watch it and be like, oh shit. Now I
Really?
start to see the bigger picture. Yeah, that's my feeling, and that's what has been kind of like said throughout the trades. Is like, okay, now the Eternals is like the pivotal movie for Phase 4, moving
Hmm.
on, and people are going to start going back and be like, oh shit. But who
Okay.
knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
Now, have you been watching like all this other Phase 4 stuff? Like, is it Phase 4 with like Miss Marvel
Yeah,
and what else is it? What else?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight and
What is the other one? Why can I not think of it
I
now?
haven't watched Miss Marvel at all.
I
Moon Knight.
absolutely
I watched
loved.
the first episode and I was like, all right.
It's different. It's different for sure.
Yeah, maybe I need to give it some time. Like first time I started watching WandaVision, like 3 episodes had already been out, and so I was like, watch the first one. I was like, dude, what's this? And the second episode came out, and I was like, I'm gonna watch episode 3 just because. And then once I watched episode 3, I was like, okay. So I was like, I need to give it. Maybe I need to give it some time. But like, dude, Moon Knight was a little. I don't know. I wasn't totally into it, but I only watched one episode. So like, I am by far like, I probably shouldn't be judging that at all. But I haven't seen enough out of this new phase that's make me. I don't know, man.
I know everyone's had the same like what do because Kevin Feige came out like before Comic Con was like you're gonna start understanding Phase 4 as we move on. Like Phase 4 is pretty much done with Wakanda Forever in November, I think October, November, I can't remember.
Okay.
So yeah, so he was just like so things are starting to the stories are going to start to flourish, or I don't know what he said exactly, but people are going to start understanding basically what Phase 4 was about as we get further into it. And Thor, Love and Thunder, I feel like kind of gave us a bigger clue with Eternity. Like, I want to say death, but like, I guess death and love. So that's what Phase 4 is. If you go back to watch a lot of the Phase 4 movies and you watch Thor, you start to see the bigger. I started seeing the bigger picture after I saw Thor. I was like, oh, I totally get it. I understand now. So it's, you go through all this tragedy, and then at the end of it, there's this like part of the human being of love, like trying to self love and self empowerment, and that's kind of what Phase 4, what I understand is about. That's where I know it seems really strange, but like Moon Knight is not like that at all, because Moon Knight is more of a show based on mental health more than anything.
Okay.
So yes, people were just like, I don't know, this is not what I was expecting. And my son loves Moon Knight, and he absolutely loved that show. And I'm like, did you understand anything about like the disorder he had? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, well, explain it. And he just was like, well, he just related to me what the show was about. But I was like, well, why don't you research like what this actual disorder is about? And then it like kind of clicked for him. And you're just like, oh, he's 14.
Right on.
So, but yeah, the Phase 4 I feel like just got really deep, and that's why people are just like I don't want to have these deep feelings.
Yeah, maybe that's it, man. Maybe they just want to see like
show make me feel something. Ew.
Maybe they just want to see like their comics just come to life, and like that's the way I am when I go to movies, dude. Like when I go to a movie, I'm like, I don't know, me going to watch this Elvis movie it was what it was. But dude, I go just to like get lost in it. I'm not even like an Elvis fan. I'm not a big fan of his music or anything like that. But I was like, it's kind of an interesting pick about him. But like when I go to movies, dude, you will not catch me go to like a romantic comedy or like, dude, I want something to be lost in, man. Like I want the full like theater experience. Like I'll watch romantic comedies and shit like that. But I'll do that at home. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, like, not at the theater, right?
Nah, dude, that's a waste. That's a waste of like
with Dolby Atmos. I'm gonna watch a rom-com in Dolby Atmos. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, there's no need. So when I go, I just want to be just ooh and ah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's how shallow I am. Like, explosions and special effects. I don't know.
Brain numbing.
I know. That's basically it. Like, that's basically it. So
I think for the most part, when you go to the movies, you go to the movie because you just want to get lost into what you're watching and the outside world. You're just like, I don't really care anymore what's going on. And just focused on just having a good time, relaxing, and just enjoying what's in front of you. I mean, that's why I go. I go because I'm just like, well, I really don't really give a shit about this today, so I want to go watch a movie and just clear my head and watch some stupid action movie. It's going to be dumb, and you're just like, I don't care. I'll pay the $11-12 and just sit there and watch something.
Yeah, dude, like Top Gun. Like I don't know what if anyone else saw, but I was like, dude, so that was good. Freaking great, man. I loved it. So I was like, it was a good story. It looked great. Like that was one that it's like you have to see in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to see in the theater.
Yeah, man, most definitely.
So that's a good segue into my next question, actually. So I'm going to ask this question for the two of you.
Sorry,
I'll answer this last. You're good. So we're 8 months into this year. So of all the movies you've seen, what are your top? I'll just say top 3 right now. So Chris, you first.
I haven't watched a lot of. I don't watch a lot of movies.
Shame on you.
I used to be on this podcast. Well, I still am. But we just haven't done a show in a long time. But we had a game where myself and another guy people were guessing how many movies we had watched, and it was very low. So I don't watch a whole lot of movies. So I could just name like the only 3 movies I've seen this year. Let's see. I saw Thor was all right. Top Gun was awesome. Thor was cool, and Doctor Strange, I guess. I don't know, and even that was okay. But those might be the only 3 movies I've seen. I haven't watched Prey yet, so
Okay.
that'll probably be up there.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. Not Elvis. The Elvis movie was not up there.
Yeah, I'm not an Elvis fan. That's something I'll wait till a streamer. That's a streamer movie for me.
Dude, I have a buddy that's seen that 11 times.
What?
Oh my gosh. Dude.
What?
I'm gonna send this link to him when this comes out.
Holy moly. 11 times.
11 times, bro?
No, this guy's the biggest Elvis fan I know. And I talked to him. I sent him a screenshot. I was like, hey, dude, look where I'm at. He's like, I was just talking with my wife. We talked about going and watch it today. I was like, make it a dozen. And when I left, he sent me a message. He was like, dude, tell me what you think. Oh, shit. Sorry. When I left, like, I guess a couple hours went by, and he was like, well, and I was like, eh. And he wrote back, bro, fuck you.
Bro, what are you talking about? It's like awesome.
I know, man. He was, I think I heard his feelings, man, but I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't see it. So it was okay. It was, it's not top 3.
Wow. Well, hey, you tried. You gave it a try.
That's all that matters. You helped him make more money. That's what they all want.
There you go. There you go.
You were very generous with your money, Chris. Thank you from the Elvis people.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Elvis State.
Jason, what about you?
Well, the first one, that's easy. The Batman, duh. That's my number 1 movie of the year, man. It was like a cathartic experience for me. It was the first time in my life where I was an adult and I got to go see a Batman movie in theaters and just gush out like a prom night schoolgirl. That was kind of I was like a very emotional time for me, and I loved it. I love that movie, and it's like a dream come true to see the character kind of portrayed it in such an authentic way. And that was definitely my number 1. My number 2, I would say my number 2 favorite theater movie is Top Gun. Definitely. I didn't give a crap about the Top Gun franchise before this year. And I actually watched the first movie for the first time this year, shortly to prepare for Top Gun. And I thought it was fine. It was cool. It's an 80s movie. I like the energy of the characters. But then Top Gun came out, Maverick came out, and I was just like, I was getting teary-eyed. Like I was so drawn into it. It was so good. Like it felt like the reason why you go see movies in the theater, and they nailed it completely. Excellent. My number 3 movie is definitely right now. I would say Prey is going to be my number 3 movie of the year for sure. I love Predator. I love the Aliens franchise, and I've been waiting for a good movie, a good Predator movie since. Well, I'd say AVP is a good Predator movie. It's a good Predator movie. It's not a great Predator movie, but I've been waiting so long. And Prey filled that niche. It totally gave me what I was looking for. And I think this is like a resurgence of the franchise. And I hope that they either keep on Dan Trachtenberg, I think his name is. I hope they keep him on to do the follow-ups because he has a real vision and he understands the characters. So I love it. I watched it in the Comanche language just to get that authentic kind of experience. It was dubbed. It's a dub, but it still was a lot more immersive than listening to characters in the Comanche warriors in the 16th century speaking English. But yeah, it's great. Prey is great. It's really good. It's definitely I would say it's the number two best Predator movie for sure, behind the first one, definitely.
Yeah,
That gives me high hopes, man. I
yeah,
love to hear that.
Yeah,
I
it's good. It's good.
I agree with Jason. I don't recall. I mean, I remember I've watched all those Predator and Alien movies and Predator, and I don't really remember Predator 2 very well because I brought up like why haven't they made a Danny Glover figure? Like NECA, why haven't they? NECA, if you're listening, why haven't you? Just putting that out there.
Makes no
Yeah,
sense.
Prey I didn't know what to expect because I was just like, oh, it's another Predator movie. You know, Jason, I was like, hey, I'm about to watch this. He's all, dude, you're gonna love it. And I literally sat there and was like drawn in. My kids were like walking around. And I was just like zoned in. I was like, wow, this is so good. But yeah, it's really, really good. I think you will enjoy it. But yeah, so my top three this year, it's been very hard because the Batman and Top Gun are pretty much equal to me, but I'd probably say Top Gun, Batman, and that doesn't sound weird. Nope. Nope would be my number three.
Okay.
I absolutely loved it, and people want to say what they want, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Well, Prey and Nope I would say tied for three. Prey's really, really damn good, but I really like Nope a lot.
Nice. I definitely, that's a good list. If we're doing runner up, I want to say that my runner up for, I'd say tie for second place would probably be The Black Phone. I don't know
Oh,
if you all have seen that yet,
I haven't.
but yeah, it's good. It's good. It's written by Joe Hill. It's a story based on Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King.
Oh,
Um, it's good. If you get a chance, I would say just rent it. Just rent it's like $5. It's less than 2 hours. I think it's about 2 hours. It is such a good horror film. Um, we were blown away. My girlfriend and I watched it, and we were just like sucked into like every moment. Really good horror film. I don't think anything's really going to top that this year as far as horror goes.
so yeah, that would be. I mean, if I really had a runner up, it would probably be. What else have I've seen a lot of freaking movies and I can't remember.
Me
Uh,
too. Me too.
Probably Doctor Strange would be like my number four. That'd be my. If it were gonna go four, I would say Doctor Strange. Thor is definitely not in my top five, and I really wanted it to be because I love Christian Bale. But yeah, that would be my runner up. Would be Doctor Strange. I freaking loved it. I loved the whole horror element of it. I loved Sam Raimi coming back. There was just so much I liked about it. Even
Did the
watching
Spider-Man
it
movies come out this year? Or
Last year,
last year,
December.
December. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
December.
okay. Mm.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah, I
Everyone's
think I
like
just
Spider
named. I
Man.
just yeah. I just named the only three movies I've seen. I don't watch
Hey,
movies, man. It's
that's okay.
ridiculous.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, all
fine.
right. I watched Central Intelligence last night for the first time. Does that
Really?
count? It's the first time I've seen it, so I'll put Central Intelligence as three. Came out
Is
in like
that
what?
that Dwayne? Is that that Rock movie with
Yeah, Kevin
It
Hart.
is.
Kevin Hart?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is.
Yeah, I watched that Netflix movie with him and the
Red
man
Notice.
from the man
Oh,
from
that one.
something. It was so goofy.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
I
think
movie.
don't know.
The man
Yeah,
from
it's on Netflix. Reno, the man from something.
Vancouver. Is it? I don't remember.
I don't know, but it's a
That's how good it
comedy.
was. That's
Yeah,
how good it was. I can't
yeah,
remember. I
yeah.
I was like, the movie wasn't that good.
Yeah,
Disappointed.
Sorry
the,
about
the,
that.
the, the humor
Sorry.
was like real meh. It was like, sometimes joke scripting is important, ladies and gentlemen. You have to like script the joke. You don't just let the
Yeah.
actor do what they want to do. So that's what I'll say about that.
I was gonna say, so Jason and I were talking about McFarlane toys earlier today. The Azrael Nightfall Batman. That's a gold label Walmart exclusive.
Ah,
Everyone was up in arms like, why the hell would you make it a Walmart exclusive? And I mean, like I said, there's six sitting an hour and a half away, and then we were just talking earlier today about this, and gotcha. What was I gonna say now? Shoot. Oh, so we were just talking about this earlier, and I was just like, yeah. So everyone's just like, why is McFarlane able to produce things so fast and get them like
Yeah.
they put an image up and they're out? And I was like, well, I think what they're doing is they're producing all the figures like months ahead of time, like maybe a year ahead of time. They're announcing it, or they're getting leaked, and then like, okay, now we have to announce it and push it out. So that's my thinking why they're able to like push out things so damn fast. You know,
Yeah.
announce it like 3 weeks, and then it's out in like a week.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at Hasbro, holy
1 year, 2 years later.
2 years
Yeah.
later, figures out in Europe, and then we still haven't gotten them.
It's crazy.
Yep.
So anyway, I know Chris, you have to take off, so we'll let you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I just,
no, you're good, man.
well, I got a phone call earlier, and that's what it kind of threw me off, and I was muted, and I put that, and then I just got a text, and I read it, and I was like, oh, yeah, so sorry, dude. I hope to, yeah, sorry, man.
No, you're good. We'll do this again. No worries.
I hope so, dude. It's been a blast. I'll watch some more movies.
My take from this, I need to watch more movies.
Most definitely. So
watch more movies.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure. We appreciate you being on, man. Thank you so much for taking the time out on a Sunday. And this is going to come out next month. So
sweet.
It'll be up on the 6th of September, the first week of September. So promote the hell out of it at the end of August. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do. Get your followers to watch it. We want you to plug your show before you end, or your YouTube channel before we go. So
for sure,
feel free. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. You mentioned when you were bringing me in, you're like, oh, he's been on YouTube longer than I have. Dude, you got way more followers than I do. So you're doing something right, bro. Good job for you, man. I'm proud of you. Just follow or go to YouTube, watch Craven the Toy Hunt. You could read it right under there, the way I spell it. Big play off of Craven the Hunter, duh. So like my very first show, I called it Craven the Hunt, and I spelled it with a K and all that. And I had some buddies that were like, dude, if you end up being big time, what if Marvel comes at you? And I was like, oh, yeah, they might. And like, here I am like a year and a half later or something. And it's like, with 250 followers, like, yeah, I'm sure Marvel's breathing down my neck right now. So I should have just kept it Craven the Hunt or whatever I called it. Craven the Toy Hunt is the name. It's the same thing on Instagram. You can follow me there. I try to pump out things weekly, and I hit bumps in the road all the time. So just enjoy the content when it comes out. But turn on those notifications for those random episodes that drop. I usually come out with stuff about every couple weeks.
Yeah, man.
The last one I did was with Seth. What's popping down in Florida, and that was a blast, man. So go and watch his episode too, because you could see like both our point of views.
Yeah, I watched both those videos, and it was very interesting to see like his point of view and yours, because I watched his first, because then yours came out afterwards, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude, this is so cool to see like two point of views. It's definitely awesome. I love that it happened that way.
It was fun, man. Like I've like, turned the camera on me, or I've, done whatever, like, I'll talk about it, but like to see my reactions to things, and like, or to record Seth's reactions to things, for my video, and he recorded my reactions to things on like his video. Like, yeah, I went back and watched it. I was like, oh, it was kind of fun. Like I enjoyed being able to show him off while he's there, like going through stuff, and he dropped something. He was like, oh shit. Or like, he said, piggy, like he threw that out. And that was one thing that I was always like looking forward to, like, just certain aspects, or going to bits and buttons with him. And like, I don't know, actually watching how he worked was really cool, man. It was much more than just like, I'm just going to record and just go with it. Like I was really watching, and like, dude, hats off to that guy. You're in for a treat when you talk to him, dude. Hats off to that guy, because he's one of the absolute nicest guys, man, I ever met. And to just be a wealth of knowledge and just to open up to me, I was like, wow, bro, like, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. So,
all right, fellas,
you have a great night, Chris. Again, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, man. Sorry I had to hop off, man.
No, you're good, man.
I'm so sorry.
We'll bring you on again. Don't worry about it.
I hope so, man. I look forward to it, man. Jason, be good, buddy.
Thanks, Chris. Take care.
Fellas. Later on, y'all.
Later. So that was Chris. That was great. That was fun.
Yeah, great guy. Wealth of knowledge.
So next, well, I shouldn't say next. This coming Tuesday, we have What's Poppin' on the podcast. So All three of us will be on there this time with Seth from What's Poppin'. The following week after that, we have a guest. And then I'm trying to think. We have 2 guests after that. And then the 30th of the month, we're going to do something a little different for the podcast. So look out for that. September 6th is when this one comes out, which you'll see this then and you'll hear all this then. Besides that, you have anything else to share, Jason, before we head off for the rest of our night?
Oh yes. I want to say that for all of our people that listen to us and watch our videos, I apologize. I have definitely been severely delayed in content. I am working on a video now. It's actually specifically about my trip to Brazil. I just been super busy, but it will be out this week. I promise. I'm sorry. I apologize to people, but it's coming.
There we go. From the man, you heard it from the man himself. It's coming. And make sure you please follow Cyborg Soda on all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram. I don't remember. I don't think you have a Twitter, do you? I don't remember.
I don't have a official Twitter yet now.
But yeah, follow them on both those. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, no Facebook. I don't do Facebook anymore. So yeah, you can follow us. And then BC Radio is, I've been talking him into creating a separate Instagram account from his personal one that's named the same thing. He's going to rebrand possibly his name, but keep it the same, but change up the lettering. We talked about this for like 3 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we had a long conversation about him ending the broadcast, and then it just went into a longer conversation about other stuff. It was funny. But yeah, we appreciate you guys for continuing watching. I also want to say thank you to the other toy collectors have DM'd me personally and asked if they could be on the podcast. So that's awesome. I'm like deeply humbled by the fact that people are reaching out. But yeah, this has been fun. I enjoyed doing this. I enjoy doing this with Jason. I enjoy doing this with Todd or Beastie Radio, and all of our guests have been fantastic. So we're looking forward to making this a lot bigger and better down the road. So keep watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe to both of our channels, and that's it. That's all I have to say. So we'll see you guys on the next podcast soon. Peace.
Peace out, everybody.